that says anything to you. It's that I have problems.
It's not cutesy. He's like
hot. I really like him. I love him.
I'm not on the highway. I am in this tavern.
Because, like, one, just stop. It's hot. Like,
Literally.
he just murdered a bunch of people.
So, is this book about vampires?
Welcome to this week's episode of
Shadow Crown Book Club
with Sabina
and Millie.
Hi. This week, we're talking about For Blood and Ash
By Jennifer L.
Armentrout. My favorite book. This was literally the book that got me into reading. Again, after years of burnout from college. I have read this before many times. I've read the next 2 books in this series and the first book of the like sequel series. But this is Millie's first time reading it.
Yes, this is the first one I've read.
It's the only one she's read.
Yeah, the only one I've read.
We are going to do a deep dive of it. But first we're going to just talk about what we liked about it.
Our initial reactions, kind of. Non-spoilers.
Yeah.
So this part is no spoilers. So if you have not read it, you're still welcome to watch. When we do get into spoiler, we will give a spoiler warning.
And you have to go read it. And then come back.
And then come back.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So we can just talk about it together.
Yeah. I love the characters. The depth of the characters.
Yes.
The world, like, this book, not... Okay, a lot of crazy shit happens, but it's kind of slow paced for the first book because it's so world building.
Yeah.
Because the world has so much depth and, like, the society, it plays such a big part in the series that you have to know a lot about it to understand, like, why everything that's happening is so important, you know?
Yes. Coming from reading a lot of fantasy, this one is so easy to like understand the world, because I've read some books that I halfway through the first book and I'm like, I still do not know where I'm at. I don't understand the magic. I don't understand any of it. This one was very easy, and I'm sure as we go into the series, the world will expand. But being the first book of the series, I think Jennifer did it wonderful.
Yeah.
And it was just so easy to like follow along.
And just like straight off the bat, it's like right there, it's explaining how it works. Like, and it's not like dumbing it down either. Like,
yeah.
Oh, this is how this works. Like, it's like straight up like, this is
This
what I
is
got.
Like it's like more matter of fact instead of like trying to explain it to you.
And you're like diving just right into the world. Like, there's no like, oh, in a, once upon a time. Like, nope.
Yeah.
This is happening right now.
I love her writing style.
Yeah.
It is so like easy to, what's the word? Get hooked.
Yeah.
Into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The first time I read this, it took me like 2 days to read like the first couple chapters just because like I was doing other stuff. But then as soon as I got hooked into it, I finished this entire book within 2 days. And then I bought the next book and I finished it in a day and a half. Like, I read it nonstop. I didn't sleep because I needed to know what happened next. Like, and like this book does the same. Like, it's just hooks you in. Like, as soon as you think like, oh, like maybe this isn't for me, then you're like, okay, what just happened?
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I need 5 more. And there are 5 more. There's more than 5 more. So like, and there's a prequel. Yeah, and there's like a spin-off series. So like, if you're diving into something and you want a lot to read and like you want it to just keep building, this is the series for you.
I like how I'm starting this series like late in the game because there's already so many books out there. So when I'm done with this and we're done with this video and my second one comes in the mail, I will be reading like as soon as I open the package because I am so in.
You have to know how to next.
Yeah, I'm so invested.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of that word.
No, it like this book became my whole personality. Like, it was what introduced me to book talk and like literally like I have a lot to this book. Okay, I'm just gonna say lots of stuff to this book series. the way it's written is just so good that I want to keep reading it. I reread this one specifically 4 times. This was my 5th time reading it with Millie. And it's still just as good as the first time I read it. So, if that says anything to you, it's that I have problems. But also that you should read it.
Okay, so I think that's our no spoiler.
That's pre-spoilers, okay? So if you haven't read it, and you want to, from our very, chaotic description of it, go read it.
That was kind of chaotic.
Yeah. But go read it. And then come back. If you have read it, stick around.
Spoilers. Warning. Spoilers.
Put it in like big letters. Be like,
spoilers.
So, if you don't know what happens,
Leave.
turn off. Also,
read it. Come back.
Also, this is an adult book. If you are not an adult, don't read it.
And we are adults.
And
Speaking about adult things
Yep.
that happen in the adult book. And this is our yap and sip, so we have our
Our blood. It's red wine, guys. Relax.
So we're gonna be yapping
Yeah. You guys are just joining us for this,
the yap sesh.
the yap sesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The fact starts out. Okay, so I listened to the audio, the first couple chapters in the audio, and I love the dramatized audio.
Yeah.
Because you hear the
The background noise.
and if
Yeah.
I was driving and I was like, I'm not on the highway. I am in this tavern thing. I don't know what it is. The fact that she's just playing cards. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Okay. So
Yeah, straight off the bat, they're immediately just like, oh yeah, this is totally normal. But then immediately she's also like, I should not be doing this. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, okay, so apparently being a maiden is a thing. First time I read that, I was like, a maiden. She's a maiden. Fair maiden. She's a woman. Good job.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, there's a bunch of other women in there. I'm like,
But so
okay.
special. Yeah.
And then once they got into the oh, I'm the maiden, I'm like, ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And then they're talking about oh, somebody died and all this stuff, and she's so intrigued, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, and how, and it must have been important because
Yeah.
we're talking about it right off the bat. So you're just like, okay, so people are dying, got it, and the fact that she's like, oh yeah, I'm masked, people shouldn't know I'm here.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, so this is, right off the bat, you're like,
Incognito.
yeah, right off the bat, she's sneaky.
Yeah.
She's
I thought for some reason, right off the bat, again, coming from reading a lot of fantasy, I was like, oh, she's an assassin. She's about to fuck some shit up.
that'd be crazy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but when they started explaining her powers, it took me a minute. I'm just like, okay, so you feel pain, but that's it. But then as the book progressed and it started showing that it was evolving, I'm just like, okay, so you got something going on. You're not just feeling people's pain,
Yeah.
But I feel straight off the bat, it showed the way she was described, the way everything was described, she was just a free spirit, and then once she saw Victor, she's like,
Yeah, she's like,
get the fuck out of here.
The lady from the Red Pearl,
Mm-hmm.
that's oh, go upstairs and then this room and whatever. Literally, I got here because I was driving here listening to those, and I literally told her, I was like, she's sus.
Yeah.
I was like,
And then,
there's something going on.
Even Poppy says after she leaves, she's just I wonder if she's a dissenter or if she's a seer.
Seer, yeah.
And stuff. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
And immediately, And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So there are actual other mystical creatures kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
at first all we knew is that Poppy had magic powers. We didn't know what else there was,
Yeah.
But also Castiel? Fuck, not Castiel. Hawk.
If you
Separate
read
entities.
if you've read the book, you already know. He is. What did this say?
One and the same. But
We'll get to that in a minute.
In my brain, they're separate entities.
Yes, Hawk is
Her guard.
her guard.
Happy, lovey, jokingly kind of cutesy vibe.
It's not cutesy. He's
hot. Oh.
he's I love the like teasiness
Yeah.
that
yeah.
he has, like the teasy flirty, like we're 18, 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
20.
Like,
I don't know
yeah,
how old Hawk is.
200.
Well, what he's trying to portray.
Yeah. I feel like he's
She's
probably
like
like
a
24.
couple, yeah.
24.
She said a couple years older.
Yeah.
And she's like 19.
18.
So.
Right?
Turning 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because her
Ascension's on the 19th birthday. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But, anyway. I literally wrote, I was like, okay, also, Hawk is lightweight as slut, for real. Because he literally just kissed her. Like, and like, okay.
Well, he thought she was somebody else.
Right.
Well,
right, but that's, I literally wrote, because I was like, because as I was writing this, I was like thinking, I was just like, okay, wait.
how do you...
When did he find, like, when did he realize that she was someone else? Because he said that, like, later on in the book, obviously you've read this, I knew who you were the whole time.
Yeah.
When? Like, as soon as she walked in the door, he knew who she was?
I think so.
Or, like, after, like, he kissed her and then was like, okay, you're actually not Britta. Like, did he actually mess with Britta? Or was that just, like, you know, like...
I think maybe he did. Because he's a guy.
Fair.
They're guys.
But, like...
So, obviously. But I think he knew who she was from the moment he entered the city. Because... at the end of the book,
he knew he knew who the maiden was.
Yes,
but
I think he knew like what she looked like because obviously, he's not gonna go there, and just
like I feel like he probably like saw her like training with Victor or something like when they were like sneaking around and stuff like that.
Well, he said,
like when she was like watching
him train, and he was watching her.
But like she had the veil on.
Yes.
And stuff. So like I'm sure he like knew what she looked like with the veil.
Yeah.
And stuff. But, like, my thing is, like, when she walked into that room...
No, but, the lady from the Red Pearl knew who she was. Because she said, and something about why is the maiden here?
She knew who she was.
I think they were working together.
But they never said that they're working together.
They haven't. But I'm just saying, I think...
Every time that she mentions her in this book, every time that Poppy's like, oh, like the lady in the... Red Pearl, Hawk doesn't say anything. Yeah. I think
they were working together, and that's why the lady from the Red Pearl, I don't even know her name, sent her into that room because she knew that Hawk would be waiting there for her.
Yeah.
Now, how he knew she was gonna be there, maybe followed her.
So I'm just curious on like when he actually like learns who she is. Like, because if he doesn't know that she's coming into the room, like, what, does he smell her? And he's like, oh, hey, you're not Britta.
Yeah.
You know? Because we know he's got, like, you know, some extra powers up there, you know?
Yeah.
Also, like, did Kira know who was in the room? When he came to, like, go get him? You know?
Well, I don't think he's, like, ever seen her or, like...
Right, but, like...
He definitely knew somebody was in the room.
Yeah, but if Hawk, like, knew she was planning to come up, or, like, was hoping that she... Because, like, say, like, if anything, he might have known that she was in the Red Pearl. He might not have, like, known how, like, she got up to his room, but he probably knew that she was in there.
What if he really didn't?
Right, exactly.
Like, so he never knew, like...
So he wasn't prepared for her.
Yeah.
So, like, when did he actually, like, realize that she was the maiden? Because, like, I definitely think he did.
Maybe
like, once he was, like... kissing her, like when he was like, was that your first kiss? Like that, like when that happened.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have been like, okay, you're definitely not the person who kissed me, but also you look vaguely familiar from me stalking you for the past couple months. You know, like.
Yeah. I want to say something.
Go for it.
And might embarrass you just a tad.
Go for it.
I was in like chapter 4 maybe.
Okay.
And I came over here again. I walked to that door and I'm like, so is this book about vampires? Straight off the bat, like a couple chapters in, and tell me what you responded.
Okay, the first time I read this, obviously we know they're vampires now, right? Or vampires, right? That's how I pronounce it. I don't know how it's pronounced, but I pronounce it vampires. I didn't realize that the Ascended were vampires until Hawk called them vampires, which means like all the way into the end of the book, like what, chapter like 34 or something?
Yeah.
All the way like at the end, that was when I realized they were vampires.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. They can't go in the sun? Oh, wait, they're super fast? Oh, wait, they drink blood? To be fair, we didn't know they drank blood.
Yeah.
But, like, oh, they're super fast. Oh, they're soulless. Oh, their eyes are black. Oh, like,
Yeah.
all the signs were pointing there.
I think
I did not put it together. She comes in after 4 chapters. It's like, are these vampires? I said, get out of my house.
Again, I have read a lot of fantasy, so I knew where to look for those.
Yeah.
I think it was the moment, like, poor Melissa.
Oh, yeah. And see, like,
I think that was what clicked for me.
That should have clicked it for me. Nope, nothing. Just right over my head.
Another thing, and I know this is like skipping into like way into the book, but one thing I don't like about this book is how she was starting to connect. Oh, Lord Magazine. That's what I call him. So that's just what I'm gonna be calling him. It's like, oh, the jasmine or whatever the freak the scent.
Mm-hmm. Jasmine.
And she was like, oh, he's always smells like jasmine. Da 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 da.
Or no, he smelled like jasmine that day.
Yeah.
And she was carrying a bouquet of it, and then there was a petal in the room. Yeah.
And then she was like starting to connect everything, and then just.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know. I think she got justice for it. But yeah, like, but it never like got said like, hey, he murdered her.
Yeah.
And other stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
I liked how like I literally texted her and I was like, she's finally connected the dots.
Yeah.
Like it's him. Like
there's no like conclusion to.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing I did not like about the book. Yeah. And that is like saying a lot.
Yeah.
Because.
And I think it's like probably more because like I feel like she was probably like, just like expecting people to like put that together, that she put it together. But I feel like it should have been brought up to like the Duchess or something like, hey, you did it. But then also that would be like, you know, accusing and ascended. Yeah. She'd get in trouble. And so like she could have at least like told Victor. Yeah. But then when she did realize it, that was the night of the right, which means also the poetry and yelling at Victor. Okay. And, like, you know, like so all that other stuff happened. So like I get why her, you know, brain was a little distracted.
Yes. We're just going all over the place, but
yeah. Okay, wait. Going back a little bit from before the riot. R.I.P. to Ryland.
Dude, he was in the book for like 20 pages. I don't even know. And literally, I had this obsession with him.
She loved him so much. I couldn't bring it to her. I couldn't say anything. I was just like, oh yeah.
I literally. What happened in the garden, and I literally texted her, I was like, no! And I'm like, literally like, please tell me he's gonna come back. Like, he's not dead. And she's like, he's mortal.
He's dead.
He's dead. And
oh my gosh, he's fucking dead.
And then, closer to the end, I misread the sentence where it says that the guy that killed Ryland appeared. And I thought it said Ryland appeared. I was like, I texted her, I was like, you freaking liar. And then I and then I texted her back, and I was like, just kidding, never mind. I read that wrong. But I was like die hard. I was like, he's not dead. He's gonna come back.
Okay, but hot take. Ryland was kind of a shitty guard.
He was.
He was like really lax for being an honor guard, a royal guard.
Yes, and her personal guard, like.
And also, the day after someone was murdered.
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, I think we should be safe out in the open garden.
Yeah. And then
come on.
Also, like he just let her go off with Lord Magazine.
Yeah.
And like he just like did not put up a fight whatsoever.
But to be fair, like she even said like if he did, like he'd be getting in trouble too.
Yes.
Which like I get. And like that like kinda like pulls into like the whole like all of her guards except Tom. Like no one stood up for her. Yeah. You know, like as much as like they cared for her and whatever, they saw her as the maiden first.
Victor did a little bit more.
Yeah, like I'm sure like, but also like Ryland tried. He's like, oh yeah, like she can't linger, we gotta go. Yeah. Kind of thing. But Lord Mazie was just like, no, we're talking. Yeah. Kind of thing. Like, yeah. But also like,
I didn't like him. Literally, since he answered the book, I'm like, he's a motherfucker. Yeah. I don't like him.
Literally. Him and the Duke. As soon as it happened, you texted me. You were like, "Yes, Duke asshole's dead.
Yeah. I cannot remember his name, so I referred to him the whole entire book as Duke asshole.
Yeah.
The whole entire book, and then Lord magazine.
Yeah.
But literally,
Whenever I get like a text, I have to like look at him like Lord magazine. I'm like, okay, yes, I know who that is. Yep. I have to look at my little like glossary of your stuff.
my slang versus the actual word.
We skipped over Tawny. I love Tawny.
I feel so bad. I know.
Why?
I haven't read the rest of the book because she was left there. I mean, I'm glad she was, the events that happened.
Yeah.
But I just feel so sad because like,
yeah.
well, I guess I feel more sad for Poppy than
Because like she doesn't have like her.
yeah, like that's her last person
Yeah.
that she's had like
the last person of the before. Kind of thing.
for like so many years with her.
Yeah. But also like, I love their friendship. I feel like Poppy doesn't put enough trust into their friendship because, like, I get it. Because, like, they're only friends because, like, Tawny is literally duty-bound to be her friend.
Yeah.
Or her maid, whatever. But, like, Tawny knows some of her secrets. She's never once ratted her out. She goes with her on her things. Like, Tawny's proven to be, like, trustworthy and stuff. But, like, I feel like Poppy is continuously saying, like, I trust her to an extent.
Yeah.
And, like, I get it. Because, like, I have those, like, friends, too. Like, they're just like, well, like, would we be friends if we had met under different circumstances?
Yeah.
Like, if Tawny wasn't duty-bound to her, would they still be friends, you know? But, like, also probably not 'cause she was the maiden, you know? And she even said that. Like, she doesn't have to have friends.
Hot take. I think if they weren't duty bound, if she was not the maiden, I don't think they would have been friends.
You don't think so?
No.
I feel like they wouldn't have met. Like, they would have been, like, in a situation where
Like,
they could have been friends.
Even if they would have met, like, I just feel like Tawny was more of...
I feel like she was a very social butterfly.
Yes.
You know?
And Poppy, again, this might be just because how she was...
Raised. Like, she was just very sheltered.
Yeah, but
sheltered.
I don't think she would be the person to, like, gossip and...
Yeah.
Everything. And I like Tawny, but I felt like she was more of those... The ones that talk in the corner and gossip and...
Yeah.
Like the other girls.
Yeah.
Don't know their
But
names. Sorry. They're on the page very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So is Rylan, but he's
in there. But yeah, like, but like, I feel like even though like she doesn't trust Tawny like completely wholeheartedly, you can tell how much she loves her based on like what happened at the right.
Yes.
Like,
she put herself in danger to
yeah.
save.
And like she like
Tawny.
wrapped her so that to ensure that Tawny was protected too with her. Like, because if not, like Tawny probably would have gone trampled on. And,
yeah, the guards would not have protected her.
Yeah. So like that like shows how much like Tawny means to Poppy. And I feel like Poppy just like has some major trust issues for good reason. That like she can't believe that Tawny would like choose her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like also like I get it. She's got real good reason to think that. Like they've kind of instilled that in her, you know, like, oh yeah, like they literally tell her like you'll never be friends.
Can we talk about Duke asshole and all the horrible fucking things he did to her?
Yeah.
With Lord magazine.
Yeah. When I first read that, I was not prepared for that. I was just like, oh.
No.
Oh.
I was not prepared.
Yeah.
One, I hate how he kept calling her beautiful. What a shame.
Yeah.
For that scar.
Or like, one half a masterpiece, the other a nightmare. Like.
Yeah, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, big F you to them.
And then, in the room, like when she was getting her punishment, I thought it was going to go a whole different way.
Yeah.
Than what it was. Honestly, I don't even know where I first started thinking. And then when, like, he started unbuttoning her dress, whatever she was wearing, tunic, I think, or whatever it is, I was like, whoa, now.
Yeah.
What the freak is about to happen?
Yeah.
Like, and then he, like, was beating her, and I'm like, the fuck? I was like,
and
what?
what's crazy is that, like, the cane he used was literally, like, one of the ones that's, like, from, like, the forest.
Yeah.
Which means it's, like, one that, like, can be used to, like, kill, like, the Craven and stuff and, like, the Ascended. But also, like, Hawk stabbing it through his chest using that specific cane.
Yep.
It's kind of hot.
The fact that he knew what happened before like she even said a word.
Yeah.
About like he had his suspicions.
Yeah.
But like he knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
And because
like,
he
like,
killed the Duke before.
Yeah, but he, remember, like he said, like, he's like, can be really convincing.
Yeah.
So, like, I think, like, he can, like, get people to tell the truth. Like, how he, like, forced her to drink.
He can compel.
Right, okay.
So
I couldn't remember if that happened to this
Yeah, it did.
So, like, he definitely compelled
him,
to tell him what happened. Or, like, one of the, like, guards or the Lord or whatever. You know?
I am very upset that he didn't kill Lord Magazine from the beginning, too.
True, but also...
But I love how she was able to take matters in her own hands.
Yeah.
I hate how he stopped her. He's like, stop.
Yeah.
I was like, no, let her make him into tiny pieces.
Yeah.
And feed them to the
But also,
rats.
I think one of those stops, I think that was him compelling her. Like, I think he...
Yes, because she said that she, like...
Like, she literally couldn't, like, keep going.
And then he did the pressure point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I thought he, like, bashed her head.
That's what I thought, too. Like, when I first read it, I was just like, oh, he knocked her the fuck out. Back to the Duke. I want to know why the fuck he was so mean to her. Like, was it really because of the previous maiden? Was it actually because of her mom? Was it just because, you know, he didn't like the way she looked?
She has part Atlantean or whatever.
Yeah. But, like,
could it be tied with that? Which, I mean, he's just an abusive man.
Yeah.
Because she, like, mentions that, like, I never thought that if he was doing that to me, he might have been doing it to
other people and
the Duchess.
Yeah.
Because the Duchess was like, don't think about him, because I'm not ever going to think about him.
Yeah.
So, he's just
but my thing is, like, if it...
But I think he, like, was very, very extra mean to her.
But also, I just want to know what his relationship was with
her mom. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think her mom... Well, yeah, because never mind. I was going to say, do you think her mom was actually her mom? He said that she looked a lot like her mom.
Yeah.
The Queen never said it. Did she? Did she mention that the Queen said it too?
The Queen said that she looked just like her mom and her mom was younger.
Okay, never mind.
But...
Scratch that.
They don't ever say that, like... The one they're referring to as her mom is her mom.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Yeah.
Especially because... Castiel's like, oh, like, that's... If Ian is your full-blooded brother.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, what if those are Ian's parents, but not
hers? Yeah. Or maybe the dad... I mean, the dad wouldn't be their dad if the mom's the mom. But anyways.
And, like, they never mention their dad. They just mention her mom. Like, like, obviously, she mentions her parents were very in love and stuff. But, like, when, like, the Ascended are talking about her parents, they only say her mom.
But also, like, Ian is older because he's the... No.
Ian is older.
Yeah, he's the first. So she's the second.
Because he Ascended 2 years prior. Right? Or
and since the first don't get Ascended...
Yeah.
And it's only the second. He only Ascended because she was the maiden.
Yeah.
But
normally the first ones just stay with their parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, the Queen mentions, or she says that the Queen mentions that her mom didn't want the ascension, didn't want to ascend, and she wanted to live out of the rise with the dad.
Yeah, like out of the royal, like the kingdom. Or not the kingdom, but the palace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was that before or after the mom had the kids?
Well, it was after, because... Yeah, because that's why they left, and the kids were already born, because that's when they died. That was them traveling out of the palace, yeah. Going back to the Right Knight.
That was crazy.
But before that, the Willow scene? For just a makeout scene, that's all they did.
Yes.
All they did was make out.
I literally texted you just...
And, like, it was so steamy. Like...
Yes.
Like, I was literally, like, I couldn't, like, stop. I was just, like, pitting. I was like, why was that so hot? Like...
I literally thought more was going to happen, and he was like, let's stop. And I was like, no, keep going. Come on, let's go.
He's like, oh, I'm about to take you under the ground. Okay.
Yes. If he would have said that to me, I would have been like, sure, let's go.
I'll meet you there.
It was not even like...
It was so well written.
Yeah. It wasn't even like what they were doing. It was like just him, like...
Yeah, like them together. Like, it just, like, felt like kismet. Like, you know, like, it was just like... this is perfect. Just
yes.
you know?
And like, I'm sure I can't think of it right now, but like he was like, I remember texting you. I was like, it's his words.
Yeah,
It's his words.
he's so good with his words.
Yes.
So good with his
And
words.
that just made the scene like go from like for me from like just a regular kissing to like what it was.
Yeah, and like knowing now like that he's Castile and the Dark One and everything, like it just makes like I don't want to think that he was lying to her, you know, like so like I feel like it just
It
like,
made it real.
yeah, so deep on like that level, like just like saying like, oh yeah, like
I feel like that's when he, in my opinion, that's when he fell.
like when he
For
started
her, like-
realizing like
It's not just.
see, I think he felt like Red Pearl, you know, as soon as they started
Really?
talking, yeah, like as soon as they started talking and he realized like because he realized who she was, whatever, but like once like he like realized that she had depth to her
Yeah.
and stuff, and like the fact that she was even there, he's just like shocked. So like I think like the like intrigue was there at the Red Pearl,
Yeah.
but then I think the night on the Rise, I think that
Yeah.
was the one that just like clicked it. He's like when he's like, oh, you must be the reincarnation of one of the gods, you know,
Yeah.
like
And he's like, I'm intrigued. Or
yeah,
he just kept saying after that.
yeah, and like I think that's when he started just being like, yep, that you, me.
Well, I think that was him starting to think like you're not, because he said that multiple times at closer to the end, like you're not
Nothing what I expected.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's him like realizing like, oh, and then wanting to get to know her more.
Yeah.
But I do think Under the Willow was when he like officially.
I feel like that was when he like was getting more tempted.
Yeah.
Like I think he was already falling, but I feel like the Willow was when he was getting tempted to like cross the line of like, oh yeah, maybe like I'm not just gonna use you as a ransom, you know, like
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Not
like
bait.
same thing, yeah. But I was like, maybe I'm not just gonna use you for ransom, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah, yeah.
So we're at odds
yeah,
in that. Because
but-
it wasn't in the Blood Forest where
What?
he like, because there's a moment that like it shipped, and I think it was after the Willow,
I feel like okay.
because that's when like he like
I think the Willow meant more for her than it did for him, in the sense that like I feel like it gave her like a taste of freedom.
Yeah.
Like yeah, she'd done like little stuff, like okay, not little stuff, but like she could talk, whatever, like other smaller stuff, right? But I feel like the Willow scene was like the first time she actually like did something for herself, like asking him to kiss her, like that's different.
Yeah.
Because he knew who she was, she knew who he was, not really, but like, you know.
Yeah.
And like she asked for it, so like I feel like that gave her like a new sense of like freedom, and I think based on the adrenaline rush of that freedom is what gave her like the guts to stand up to Victor.
Yeah.
And stuff, and finally like, hey Victor, guess what? My life fucking sucks. Like, what
Fuck
do I
all
have to
y'all.
look forward to? You know, like, and like I feel like she wouldn't have been able to say any of those things if the Willow scene hadn't happened.
Yes.
You know, so like
I
not
agree.
only was it hot, but it was
a
very-
breakthrough.
It was a breakthrough. Yeah. So
For her.
yeah, it's like
Okay.
I love that.
Yes.
But also like Victor.
Can we talk about her and Victor's argument?
Yeah.
And then wait, before that, Hawk and Victor.
Yes. This. Oh my god.
I
I'm
freaking
going.
love that.
I laughed so hard when he's like, "We're literally going to her room." The fuck you
We
are.
yeah.
Like,
Oh my
not like
gosh.
that.
I loved Victor in like dad mode,
Mhm.
because we've seen him as guard.
Yeah.
We've seen him as like caring but not
Like
fully there.
Like friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, cause she's like, oh, like he's like a dad to me, and you never really see that until this scene.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And then like the part where he's like, "Bullshit, Poppy. You look like you've been like
Freaking
violently kissed or
Yeah,
something."
thoroughly
And
kissed.
she's just like, "Huh."
Do
and, she
I
looks,
now?
and she looks at Hawk and she's like, yeah.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, maybe that is something that happens. How was I supposed to know that?
I love how Hawk was like, get out of my face, kind
Yeah.
of. And he's like, and if I don't, he's like,
And he's like,
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Poppy likes you so much. I'd hate to see her sad that you're dead.
Yeah. I was like, that's an L, my dude. Like, you know.
Yeah, that was
that's
like a mini little red flag for Hawk. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, take a step down. But then when you know that he's Castiel, then you kind of like get it because you're like,
in this moment, that's when Cass.
Yeah. He made an appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not Hawk.
Yeah. But, like, my favorite, like, thing is the whole, like, I know who she is, not what she is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, like, such a major thing because, like, that is something that is continuously thrown.
Yeah.
Is that even
She
Victor,
is the
even
maiden.
Victor says, like, do you know what she is?
Yeah.
And he's like, I know who she is.
Yeah.
And, like, that is, like, such, like, a major thing because, like,
and then again,
no matter how much Victor loved her.
Yeah.
No matter how much Victor loved her, and I know he did. And I'll never find, like, major fault in him. But he always saw her as the maiden first.
Yeah.
And, like, to be fair, that was his whole religion. That was his whole life. He, like, was raised to, like, believe that.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't fault him. I fault the Ascended. But, like, also him. Because he still saw her, like, as the maiden first and then Poppy second.
Yes.
But, on that note, the fact that he trained her, like...
He broke the rules and trained her.
Yeah. I love that he trained her. Especially that he understood, like, the importance of her being able to defend herself.
Yes.
Like, because, like, if it was any other, like, guard, they probably wouldn't have. They would have expected her to be just, like, you know, very demure. Yeah. But, like, not in a good demure. Like, literally, like... Brainwashed.
Yeah.
Literally clueless.
Like everyone else.
And that's what, like, Hawk expected of her.
Yeah.
Was her to literally just be, like... A ghost, basically.
I'm
just
the maiden, and I'm perfect, and
don't talk to me. You're not
I am
allowed to look at
blessed
me.
by the gods.
Yeah, I was literally born in a shroud. Like,
be like, I know he got. I'm in a brothel.
Yeah, literally.
Hi.
Oh yeah.
Kiss me.
Yeah.
that's what he got. I can stab you.
Yeah.
And disembowel you.
Yeah,
Dude,
literally.
the amount of times that they say disemboweled, I said, can we not say it like that? Like, can we, like, I don't know, find a different way to say that?
Yeah.
Or not say it at all. But when they say innards, we're not in anymore, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to picture that, man. I know it was, like, part of the story, but, ugh, innards? I don't know.
That's such a silly thing to have an ick about, but
that's my ick. The fight scenes, like her fight scenes, that was so well written.
Yeah.
And she is a fucking badass.
And, like,
anyways,
when I read books, it's like a movie in my brain.
Yes,
that's how mine are. Okay, yeah, because, like my sister, like, that's not how her brain works. Like mine is, like, when I'm reading it, it's like I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
So, like, the way it's written is so well written that I can literally imagine it.
Like, picture it.
Yeah, move for move of the fights. Like, it's that good.
Yes.
Like, it's not like real movies where I have to, like, go ask my husband, like, hey, like, is this how they would actually do it? Like, I don't have to do that because I can see it. Like, it's working.
Are we going to talk about what happens after the rite? After, like, when the Duchess and all of them...
Oh, in the room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Duchess and Lord are kind of dumbasses.
Literally, she kept saying, they're not going to get to us.
Yeah. Why would you think that? Like, I get, like, oh yeah, the Ascended are so great. Like,
yeah, we're amazing.
Yeah, but also, yeah, let's lock ourselves in a room with no windows.
I do gotta say, it wasn't Victor, it was the other guy that was talking. He did say, like, the only entrance is this entrance and we'll have to go through them.
Yeah, like they're coming in from both sides.
Yes, so I do think it was kind of...
See, in my brain,
a good idea.
I immediately thought, like, oh, the Ascended are super strong. Punch a hole in the wall. Like, why didn't anyone think that? Like, oh, let's go in this room with no windows and then punch a hole in the wall.
Yeah. Or, I mean,
like, just run through it, you know, leave a little cartoon imprint and, like, everyone can get through. You know, like, that's what my brain thought.
Went to a room with a window.
Yeah.
Where there was a ledge, or I don't know.
Or literally, like,
she
I don't know.
She watches on ledges all the time, so, like...
Yeah. But, like, also, to be fair, Tawny was there, and Tawny probably wouldn't be able to.
No, definitely not.
But, yeah, like, as soon as they're in the room, like, the Duchess is like, oh, Tawny, you look so scared. Come, have a drink.
Yeah.
Like, let's get drunk. Like, what?
Like, I think that she didn't realize the
gravity of the situation.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I think she just said,
oh, we'll be fine.
We're fine.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, the Descenders are, you know, literally killing people, but that's us, we're fine.
Yeah, we're good.
No one would ever come for us, you know. the literally main woman of the house and the most prized possession of the entire country. Why would they come for us?
You know, they already tried to abduct her once.
Yeah.
You know, we've already had a murder in the house. Like,
yeah. But to be fair, she probably knew that it was the Lord that was the murder in the house.
Probably.
Yeah. So.
Still.
Yeah.
Even if she didn't, then. Come on now. Anyways.
Yeah.
That fight scene.
That was such a good one. Like,
was so cool.
Like when she like got her dagger out.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh,
why
Penelope?
Why do you have a dagger? And she was like, and then Victor's like,
because I trained her.
Yeah. And Victor's like, because I trained her. And she's like shocked.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I know how to use it. I'm like,
yeah.
the fuck yeah you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. And then like how like I hated that the Lord was just like, oh, this isn't very maiden-like. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, you don't have any power. Yeah, you don't have any power
You're
anymore.
just sitting there.
The Duke is gone. Like, just what?
Yeah.
And you're immortal and you're just gonna sit on your ass? Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. When in the book, when Hawk was talking about his brother, and this was before this scene, I texted her and I said, either his brother, I said, what if the brother is the Dark One? And then I sent a message like immediately after. I was like, or Hawk is the Dark One, but I don't like that time, or I don't like that idea.
She likes that idea now, though.
And I literally told her, and she just sends me the eye emojis, and I said, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. And the fact that I figured that out,
yeah, you
pat on the back to me, but then also during this moment in the fight scene in that room, I thought Hawk was about to bust up in that room and take her, like kidnap her and like kill everybody.
Oh yeah, I remember you texting and saying like, oh, I thought that was when she was gonna get taken.
Yeah, I thought he was.
But he was so much more sneaky than that.
Yes.
He got them to send her with him.
Yeah,
like,
basically deliver.
Yeah.
But I thought in that moment that it was before Hawk went into the room. Like I thought when Tawny, I think, said watch out, or somebody said watch out, I thought it was Hawk killing Victor.
Oh, that would have been so bad.
That's what I thought it was. Like
that would have broken my heart way too much, I think.
Yes.
Thank God that didn't happen.
I started crying, and then it said it wasn't the Hawk, it was some other guy. But like
it was the one that like one of them had taken down.
Yeah,
he came
he
back
stand up.
Yeah.
But I thought Hawk was about to like.
Yeah. That'd been insane.
In there and
but no, like I remember like the first time I read this, and like Victor died, I was not prepared for it. Like, it's like reminder, like I had not read like other like fantasy like romances, or like I literally hadn't read anything since like high school before this point. And like even then I didn't like read smut or anything like that. Like I was not in this world at all. I just wasn't prepared for like people to die, like main characters kind of thing, like in all the other like YA books, like their main characters don't really die, and so I was not prepared. And then like I was like, oh, Victor's not dead, he can't be dead. And then she's like, just like the way that it's written, it almost gives you like, I don't know how to like explain, like probably like it gives me like a panic attack. Like it's written so
it's
well.
because she's panicking.
And like
I like the writing where like the writing isn't always like
in sentences explaining it, like it's just like
how you're feeling.
And like she wrote it so well that I could like feel that she was having a panic attack, that so much that like as I was reading I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like
I was bawling.
Oh yeah, I was
crying.
It's like,
and my husband was like, are you crying? I said, he just died. He's like, who? It doesn't matter. She's just dead.
I can't explain to you the whole book right now, but he's dead.
And I was just crying, and I was trying to read, and it was like blurry. I was just crying so much. And then I texted her, and I said, no.
And I knew at first she was like, because like she had just like texted before like what was happening and stuff, and I was just like, oh god, it's about to get so bad right now.
Oh, and then the part that was killing me was like how he said, I failed you, or like forgive me, I failed you. And
And I feel like he wouldn't have been, like, saying that if, like, they hadn't had that conversation.
Yes, exactly.
So, like, I feel like even though she felt guilty for those being, like, the last real words to each other, I think they were so necessary.
Yep.
Like, if she didn't ever, like, get a chance to, like, vent to him about how she felt,
she wouldn't have vent to anybody.
Yeah. It never would have come out. Like, she, even, like, to, like, Hawk or Cass or anything, like, I don't think she would have been able to, like, actually express that. Because I think, like, she needed that level of trust with Victor in order to say it to him. And even then, she freaked out as soon as she said it. Because, like, she didn't even realize she said it out loud, you know?
I don't think she was, like, she realized she was feeling that in depth of it until she said it.
Yeah, like, it was just so bottled up it exploded kind of thing. Yeah. But, and I think it was so good because it, like, let him apologize.
Yeah.
And I feel like he didn't, like, know how to do that when she was going off on him. Or if he did apologize, I don't think it would have held the same weight.
Yeah, she wouldn't have felt it as sincere
because it's like,
as
like,
it did.
You hurt my feelings. Sorry.
Yes,
kind of thing. Like, you know, like, it doesn't...
Yes.
No.
I don't think she would have thought he was sincere.
Yeah.
I think she would have thought, like, okay, you just want to egg
like,
an
you're
argument.
sorry, sure, but you're not going to change.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change because I'm still the maiden.
Yeah. Oh, and then Lord Magazine decided to open its motherfucking mouth.
This was me. The book, literally winding up.
And then
he sits on his ass the whole time.
Yes. What did he say? I can't remember at this very exact moment.
He says something like, he says the maiden's gotten too familiar with her guards or something like that. Like,
and dude, I felt it in my bones when her restraint snapped.
Mm.
And she just hacked him.
Yeah. I was, as soon as she was like, she's like, I felt rage. I said,
yes.
Fuck yeah, you do. Like, let's go. Like,
yes. And then I love how she, like, described that she was hearing screaming. And then at the end of the chapter, she's like, oh, it was me screaming.
That was me.
Like, oh. Like, she just went into, like, she just saw red.
Yeah.
And she, like, didn't even know, like, who was around her. All she knew was she was cutting this asshole to pieces. And good for her. Good for her.
He said, I do believe our maiden has also crossed a certain line with her royal guards. I don't think her lessons were at all effective. And then it's like her, like, having, like, the panic attack, like, forgive me, I failed you, forgive me, I failed you, kind of thing. Like, the fact that it was, like, replaying in her brain and that's all she could process on. And then he's just like, I won't be forgetting that anytime soon. Like, no wonder she got set off. Like, that's fucking triggering, first of all.
And also, him mentioning the lessons.
Yeah.
Like, also, the audacity.
He couldn't call the lessons, you know?
Yeah.
The Duke had to. Mm-hmm. The Lord couldn't. You know, and, like, the Lord just, like, piggybacked off of the Duke's thing. So, like, now that the Duke was dead, who's he gonna remember that for, you know? Because as soon as she goes back, or if she went back to the capital, the Queen would not be okay with that.
Yeah.
And, like, Poppy knew that.
We think.
Yeah. But, like, from what Poppy said, like, the Queen would not be okay with that.
In the bud, Boris?
Oh.
The fucking rats.
The bears? The bar
rats? When they were describing that, I said, the fuck? I thought it was like a gopher.
Oh, no, that's basically how I, like, picture them.
Yeah.
It's just, like, a giant gopher.
Yeah.
Or, like, the size of, like...
Or is a giant rat as size of a gopher? Anyways.
No, like, I literally see a giant rat gopher the size of, like, a pig. Like, a big pig.
Dude, they mention it so many times, and then for it to, like, kill one person or, like, attack one person.
Yeah.
And then it was just, they were gone.
Because they were running away from the crane.
Yeah, but, like, why was that even in there?
I feel like it's just because they had mentioned it, like, before. It was supposed to, like, prep you for that scene.
Maybe.
So, like...
The only reason why they're in the story is to signal them that the Craven was coming. But that's what the fog was for.
Yeah, the mist.
So, like, I don't understand.
But, like, to be fair, like, it gave them, like, an extra prep before.
Yeah.
Because it showed not that they were just, like, attacking them. Yeah. They were going through them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was, like, kind of, like, a big thing. Like, oh, yeah, like, you guys look yummy, but, like, there's something scarier coming kind of thing. Yeah. So it gave him, like, a little more prep time before the mist got there, I guess.
Castillo.
Cass. I'm down bad. Because, like, I never thought I needed, like, therapy until, you know, I found it, like, totally okay that he was stringing people up, like, on walls. You know, I was just like, oh, yeah, sure, good. Like, fuck them. Like,
I don't like how she was like, oh, they didn't deserve, like, they deserved it, but, like, I'm like, no, they tried to kill you.
but, like, also, like, because, like, all I
She's
thought
very
was just, like, oh, that's so cute. Like, oh, he loves her. He just wants to protect her. I was just, like, kicking my legs. I was like, my husband's like, what's going on? He's like, is this my scene? I was like, no, the opposite. Like, I was like, no.
Literally.
He just murdered a bunch of people, and he's just like, okay. Like, I'm just giddy over it.
I had my reaction to that, and I'm literally just sitting there just intensely reading. And, like, there's no reaction until literally, like, 2 or 3 seconds before the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why was I like that?
Yeah. But also, like, okay, like how you said, like, you didn't like that she was, like, justifying them. But also, I really like that part. Because it was just saying, like, oh, like, everyone deserves dignity in death.
Yeah.
Instead of he's like, they didn't think you did. And she's like, they were wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
But
that's
then
such a big, like, character thing for her.
Yeah, but then I don't like how she, like, switched it up and then said, no, they should have died. Because she was saying that, and then she switched it up.
She's like, I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Because, they were so bad. But, like, she says that first. She's like, I don't feel bad that you're doing this, but I don't think it's right. When I saw them, it horrified me. But what was the worst thing is I didn't feel bad. Those people laughed at me, blah, blah, blah. I never even met them, and they wanted me to be ripped apart. And then, so I don't feel sympathy. And he's like, they don't deserve it. And Kieran agrees. And she goes, but they still deserve dignity in death. Mm-hmm. So even though she didn't, or, like, she, like, was okay with it, she still thinks they deserve dignity in death. So, like, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't die. She's okay with him killing them. He just thinks they shouldn't be, like, hung like that. Yeah. Kind of thing, like, on display. Yeah. They should be able to be, like, put to rest properly.
But let's backtrack before that.
Okay.
To, obviously, they try to kill her.
Right.
The group of people.
Also,
Mr. Tully, whatever the freak his name is.
Tullis.
What is he doing, man?
Like, I know, like, he got out. Like, why does he have to be so angry? Like, I get he's angry.
Yes.
Like, because he's not angry that, like, they wouldn't, like, not take his son. I think he's more angry that he found out the truth about his first 2 sons.
Yes.
Which, like, I get. But also, like, the maiden didn't do it.
Yes, exactly. And he was, like, kept saying, like, you were staying there.
And then, have you ever seen her have free will, dude? Like, what? Have you ever seen her talk? Have you ever seen her, like...
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then another thing is literally they straight up tell him, if y'all do this, he will kill you.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, like, and they're like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we'll just kill you too so they don't know who it was.
Yeah.
As if they wouldn't find out, first of all.
Exactly.
Delano. Like, he almost died for her. Like, him and Nail.
Yep.
Not Ale. No. Nail.
Yeah, it's just Nail.
Nail. Like, and, like, when they were all, like, entering, like, not once is he like, oh, like, yeah, go sit in the corner, like, get away. He gives her his sword. Yeah. He's like, here, protect yourself. Kill anyone who gets near you. Like, I don't know. I really like him. I love him.
I like him, too.
Also, like, the fan art of him.
Yeah, I know. I see. I like the fan art of him.
We're gonna share this one with the viewers. He's so cute. Look at this. He's such a cutie. I love him. Because from that, she almost dies. Cass comes back.
Yes.
That's how we find out he's the prince. That's the first time we actually, like, okay, don't get me wrong, like, when I first read it, I started, like, putting it together, like, when they were in the barn. Because, like, yeah. Poppy's kind of just an idiot for not, like, putting that together right there. Yes. That they're all listening to him. But, anyway. And they're all laughing at her, too. Yeah. He's like, Hawk, what are you doing? He's like, Elijah was in the back laughing at her. Like, for real, like, why didn't you put that together? Like, she didn't want to. you know,
Yeah.
but still.
And then Kieran was like, go call the prince, call the prince.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, get the prince.
Yeah. And then she like kind of like blacks out a little bit, and then she comes back, and Hawk / Cass, whatever you want to call him, is like, wake up, keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Like, wake up. And she's like, I feel nothing. Like, it's like,
I'm gonna die.
I'm
He's
gonna
like, you're not gonna
die.
die.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm speaking out loud.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I really like that in books when it's just like, they're talking in their brain.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's out loud. Like, they're like, oh, I guess I did say that out loud.
Not gonna lie, I thought multiple times in this book that he could read her mind.
Yeah.
But
I definitely think he can sense things off
Yes.
her. Like, I think he can sense when she's, like, aroused. And,
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
for
yes,
sure.
yes.
For sure. But, like, to be fair, like, you can, like, tell that. Like with your person, like, you know, like, oh, yeah, you're...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's another thing that I was gonna say. Oh, and then he's like, drink.
Yeah, and then Kieran was like, that's illegal.
No, he's like,
It's forbidden.
are you sure about this? He's like, basically saying like, just shut up. Do like,
Like, I don't want your opinion.
yeah, like I'm the prince. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Drink, Poppy, drink.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, how Kieran says Poppy, like doesn't call her Penelope, doesn't call her Maiden, like he's always called her Poppy, and I fucking love that.
It's like
Literally,
they're immediately friends.
yeah, since the moment he entered the story, I'm like, and I texted you that, I was like, I love him. Even though sometimes like he's like weird and like...
She texted me with then like, he's like, he's only been here for like 5 pages, but I love him.
I love him.
I said, he gets so much better. It gets so much better.
And then she drinks.
Yeah. And then she just
she
like
has
goes
like...
it just goes like the euphoria.
Yeah.
And she's just like on cloud 9. And she's just like, kiss me.
And he's like, oh no,
He's like, you literally hate me, dude. And she's like, no, I don't
care.
I don't care. Let it happen. And he's like, no. Like, we love a consent king. Like, you know, like.
And then she like snaps back. And she's like, the fuck?
Yeah, she's like, get away from me. He's like, yep, there it is.
And she stabs him.
Oh, and it wasn't even like meditated or anything, you know?
No,
like
she
she
just,
literally
like...
just rolls out of bed. She's trying to like wrap her brain around everything. She's realizing that he's the dark one. All this like stuff is just flooding her, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh hey, look, the knife that I died from, basically I almost died from. Man I love. Like, you know, like
stabbed and then runs. I was shedding a couple of tears because I knew he wasn't gonna die because he's like the main character.
Yeah.
But I was like, why did she have to stab him? I was like literally thinking too, I was like, they're wolves. Like werewolves or whatever the freak. Wolven. I was like, they can smell you.
Yeah, like where are you
like
running
you
to?
You think
like, she
you're
even
gonna
said
run.
that. She even said like, oh yeah, Delana can track me wherever I go. Like, yeah, girl, where are you going?
Kieran can track her. Like,
yeah.
That wasn't a very smart plan, Poppy.
And the fact that it's snowing, and really like dressed in like breeches and a ripped open shirt from all the knives and claw marks and everything, like, girl, you're a mess.
Come on now. You're gonna die of like
frostbite.
Yeah. Hypothermia.
But anyway.
Is it called hypothermia?
But then that leads to, you know, the snow scene. The snow scene.
I literally like, they're gonna bang. And she's like, is it the snow scene? I said, no. Because I was at the part where like she's feeling euphoric and I was like, they're gonna bang.
So when she said that, I just assumed like they were already, you know, actually about to bang.
And then
they weren't. And then she ruined it because I felt so bad because I like spoiled it that like, you know, he doesn't die from her stabbing him in the heart, you know, because like he could have. Yeah, you didn't know that he wasn't going to, but then I like told you that they were going to bang in the snow, and I felt so guilty. But then I was like, I'll make it up to her with this fan art that I have of the scene.
She's like, don't open it until you get to it. And then my stupid self, I like didn't open it right, and then I'm, you know, reading, and then I see that I have a Snapchat, and I go open it, and I was like, I'm freaking stupid. And then I saw it, I said, oh, well,
Because I sent it to her on Snapchat because we were texting. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to send it on here so you don't look at it until you're ready.
And then I was like, well,
I have a Snapchat.
Well, now I know what happens. I mean, I figured, but like, okay.
Yeah.
Still.
But also, I love that scene for so many reasons. Because, like, one, just stop. It's hot. Like,
yeah.
Because, like, also, like, if you think about it, like, that must be so uncomfortable. It is snowing. Like,
Yes.
right? But their bodies are literally on fire.
Yeah.
Like, Cass is literally healing and, like, drinking from her, right? Realizing she's an Atlantean, so, like,
Yes.
he's, like,
I was
you know,
about
like,
to say,
burning, probably, you know?
That was, to me, I think that was hot.
Yeah.
Like, when he was feeding from her, and then he said, like,
I should
fed.
have known. Yeah.
And he's like, I should have known. And he was like, I fed. Or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever he said in that little montage that he had.
Yeah.
I said,
yeah. But then, like, she's literally burning. But, like, I think it's, like, such an, like, important thing. Because, like, okay, the first time they slept together, like, that was, like, her first time. Like, it was, like, you know, like, sweet. And he was just, like, no, this is real. You know?
Yeah.
This time, nothing. This is feral.
yeah.
Cass is ripping shit off. He's just like, oh, yeah, no, this is feral.
He was like, you know this shirt
It's beyond saving.
is beyond saving. Ripped.
She's like, before I even understood what he was saying, gone.
No, I thought he ripped her pants.
Mm.
No, but he didn't. And I was like, oh, I read that wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I was...
But still, like, he's, like, so, like, feral in this. And, like, I feel like she's, like... Because, like, she's still, like, sort of running down off the, like, emotions of drinking his blood. And then also, like, you know, being out in the snow.
And then also
And
putting
then
two and two
him-
together.
Yeah.
That
and
he's the dark one.
Yeah. And then him, like, biting her and stuff. So, like, her emotions are probably, like, everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And then, like, she, like, tries to, like, not get him off, but, like, move him out. And then, like, all of a sudden she's on top.
She's like, oh,
And she's like... And then he's just like...
yep.
You can do whatever you want. I will not say anything. Like, as long as you keep going. Like,
I love how he said, you can't do it wrong.
yeah. And, like, I think, like, what's the most that they're so made for each other, like, the way it's written, he literally continuously says, like, what her touch does to him.
Yeah.
And stuff, and it continuously shows, like, we know this man is now 200 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
He's
done a lot.
He is down bad for her.
He's down bad for her, but, like, he's experienced, right?
Yeah.
So, like, he slept with other people, probably, like, different creatures, all this other, like, stuff, you know, right? Like, and yet, like, he makes, like, or, like, it's written to a point where it makes such a definitive point of what her touch does to him.
Yeah.
And stuff, and how, like, it's
Well,
never
like,
felt like that. And,
He's
like,
mentioned that he's been in love before, too.
yeah.
So, yes.
But, like, and so, like, was he really in love? You know, that kind of thing, like, almost, like, did it feel like this?
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, right now, I don't think Cass knows that he loves her. I think Cass is still very confused. Because, like...
Yeah, because she has her powers. And
Yeah.
she's like, I feel it's confusion and confliction.
Yeah. And, like, it makes sense because, like, even if, like, he was, like, you know, like, oh, I love her. Or, like, I'm feeling something for her.
Mm-hmm.
She's still the, like, epitome of what the Ascended are, like, holding his brother for and what
Yeah.
they've held him for. Also, let's talk about that for a second.
Are they using his brother as
Yes.
the lantern? Okay.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
used him before?
Yeah, so,
Okay.
like, he said, like, I was stupid and got caught, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he got the press. And he was being used as, like,
The
for
one
the blood
making
and for,
that.
like, all the other stuff, right? And then he said by the someone else's stupid rescue, he got, he escaped.
Yeah.
So his brother went to rescue him, and his brother got caught.
Yeah. And then,
You know.
because she was like, the Dark One has a brother? And I was like, in that moment, I was like,
Probably, how do you not put this together yet?
I was like, this was in the cell, like,
yeah.
before, like, the attack and everything.
Yeah.
And that's, like, I think that was when I realized, which I knew,
You knew one of them was going to be, like,
yes,
The
I
Dark
knew
One.
something,
yeah.
but, like, when he was, like, in the barn, when he, like, busted in there or whatever, I just thought they were laughing at her because she thought, like, he was, like, normal
Yeah.
and stuff. Like,
Not even
In
an
the-
Atlantean.
yeah.
Like, just a
I
dissenter.
I didn't put two and two together about him being, like, for sure, like, concrete, being the Dark One.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had already guessed it,
Yeah.
but I was like, And then it wasn't until in that cell, and he specifically said, she's like,
The rightful heir is the Dark One's brother or something like that.
no, it
like,
was when she said, oh, you're waiting for the Dark One, or like to give me to the Dark One or something, and he said, I meant what I said.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whatever, and then he's like, you're mine.
Yeah.
And then that was like, because he's the Dark One. I was like, this makes so much more sense. Because I honestly thought his brother was.
Mm.
And then I was like, oh, it would be, like, what if it was him? And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. And then I was like, I was right.
Yeah.
And then
I love him as the Dark One. But I love that he doesn't like being the Dark One. He's Castile, Prince Castile, Daenerys. Like,
and then she kept, like, calling him Hawk, or, like, the Dark One. He's like, don't call me that.
yeah.
And then in the snow scene, and he's like, say my name. And then she's like, she tried to like,
she's like, Your Highness.
she's like, Your Highness, like as a
She's
rebelling.
she's being facetious for sure.
And then he's like, you know what? Don't say my name. Keep saying that.
Yeah.
Like, it backfired on her so bad. But
then she rolls over and he's just like, you don't have to say anything. Say nothing.
I freaking loved it.
Yeah.
Again,
even
it's his words. It's his words.
Even as feral and as chaotic as it is, it's so perfect for them.
Yeah.
Because it's still showing a hint of Hawk and a lot of Castile.
Yeah.
But then also it's showing how innocent, not innocent, naive, sheltered, how sheltered Poppy was and stuff, on everything,
yeah.
Especially pleasure,
Yeah.
All she got was Miss Willow's Collins' diary.
Oh my god, I forgot to talk about
We
the
didn't
diary.
talk about that at all.
I
Oh
love
my
how
God.
he took the diary with them.
Yeah.
They're falling asleep in the bathtub.
Oh,
And then asking, no.
Kieran coming in.
Yeah, Kieran coming in. Dude, he gives me major throuple vibes, and
I love him so much.
I thought since Hawk Cass was presented as the Dark One,
Mm-hmm.
I thought the love entrance was going to change, because that's how a lot of fantasy books that I've read, it's never the first one.
Yeah.
It's never. I love him. I love how he was she was like, what if he, because she won't say his name, comes in and sees you in here. He's like, well, he would be a little mad. He's like, and then he would be intrigued.
Yeah.
And I love how he says intrigued, because that's what Hawk, as the guard, said to her over and over, I'm intrigued,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So I love how he said that,
Yeah.
and that just gives it a little nod to...
But I also love that, when she was, telling Hawk, or Cass about it, he's just like, did you know he came into the bathroom? And he's like, yeah.
He's like,
I'm not worried about Kieran.
yeah.
That's just, the trust right there. It just shows,
Yeah.
I feel like they're, I feel like they're just, how you said, he immediately is already calling her Poppy and stuff. I feel like they're just, their friendship is just so, already, concrete, written. Yeah. It's just, it's there.
Yeah.
They have to be besties. Yeah.
I see, my thing is, I thought it was going to be more in those, moments.
But I feel like...
Because he's already calling her Poppy, it's already
Yeah.
familiarity. And I thought, in the moment, not anything towards Poppy, but I thought she was, going to be, so hurt about Cassio, and she's already...
processing it.
processed it, and then be like, you know what? Fuck him. And, you're not the only option for me.
Yeah,
But it didn't play out like that.
No,
and I'm like,
he is.
ah.
He is the only option for her.
I love how he kept telling her, when they're eating and stuff, he's like, eat.
Yeah.
And she's like, no.
And she's like, you're really obsessed with me eating. And he's like, dude, yeah. What? You need to eat.
And then he's like,
And then-
eat, and I will tell you our plan. And
she's
then
like-
everybody was just like, plan?
But also, I thought it was so cute. Like, it's just, like, the smallest thing. But, like, that he put the cheese on her plate.
Yeah.
Because he knew that it's her weakness.
Yeah.
I was just like... But yeah, but then the plans. Like, they're like, oh, we're going home. And she's like, that's not my home. And he's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then, dude, I love Poppy. But the amount of time it takes her to click things...
Yeah.
That she's already clicking, but they don't lock into place until someone has to tell her. I'm like, dude, come on now.
I think her body is, like, short-circuiting. Like, all of the, like, stuff that's, like, happening, like, she just, like, can't process it.
I mean, I do give her the benefit of the doubt. It's only been, like, a day.
Yeah. So, like, all of that stuff has happened.
Like,
yeah. But, like, no, like, definitely, like, I'm just, like...
And she's like, wait, what?
Like, there's no way that could be possibly true.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I drank your blood.
Literally, also, a day ago, you thought all of this was true. Like...
Yeah. And he's like, I drank your blood. It's true. And she's like... What? And then,
and
she
like,
still has
I don't
hope
think
for her brother.
And and she's like, I don't think I have the parts for that. And like when the way it was worded, I was just like,
and then what's his name with the D? What's his name?
Huh? Delano.
Yeah.
He's
Delano.
like, what have you been filling?
And he was like,
with?
yeah. No, was that Kieran?
Or is it Elijah?
I think it was Kieran.
I feel like
one of them.
You might be right.
Was like, what are you filling your mind? And he was like, and Lincoln Steele was like, she's talking about these and like licks his fangs or whatever.
Yeah.
And honestly, I did not catch that.
Yeah.
I was literally
Kieran.
Literally too like, what parts? What are you talking about?
No, I was like, do they have to be boys? Like, or those parts? And Cassie was like, teeth. She's talking about fangs. Like, guys, get your heads out of the gutter. So I was like, oh, my bad.
Same. And then I love how he said that he's been keeping an eye on her brother.
Yeah.
I'm very sad that he is an ascendant.
Yeah.
Because of how she describes him.
Yeah.
She's like, no, he would never.
Mm.
He would never. For some reason, I thought he was... And that they've been sending her fake letters.
Yeah.
Because she said that she noticed the shift in his letters and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's never
more
seen
like,
him.
I think the shift in the letters is more that like when his joy's gone.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's like, but I want to know more about like his ascension thing because like I feel like maybe he's like forced into it or like because like we know now that the ascension is just being stripped of almost all your blood and then being refilled with the Atlantean blood, which means it could be forced.
Yeah.
You
but
know?
then also, he was brainwashed too. Just like everybody else.
Yeah.
So.
But like, you'd think that like, you know, even if you're brainwashed, once they told you what was going to happen, like, hey, I'm going to drink your blood until you're almost dead and then you're going to suck it from this guy who's chained up right here. You know, like, and then you'd be like, maybe not. But like, because like, that's what supposedly Poppy's mom did. Like, or like, she hoped that was like what she had said no to the ascension for, not just her father kind of thing, you know? But, I don't know. I feel like, I genuinely like don't know, like, on like, the brothers. So I feel like, if anything, I feel like he was probably forced into it to ensure that Poppy, you know, kept going with it. Because if like, he like, was like, no, I'm not going to do it, and then like, ran away or whatever, Poppy would be like, I'm going with him, or I'm gonna go find him, or whatever. Like I can't leave him.
That's why I was thinking that they were just faking his letters.
Yeah.
But I love how Castile has been watching him. Maybe not in the pretense that
because he cared about her. Yeah. More about like.
Yeah, but at least she has
knowing everything about him and her and everything. Yeah.
I think I like it because she has at least that.
Like knowledge, like
knowledge, like like okay, he's still alive.
Yeah,
like he's this, but he's alive.
Yeah. Okay, now for the ending, the last sentence.
What do you think about it?
Sorry, I love it. I'm just gonna take over. Because I've already read this, so like I have already had my feelings.
For some reason, from the beginning, since the moment he was been calling her princess, I thought it was for a reason. I don't think it was from the very beginning. He knew, we're
gonna get married.
Do this. But I think Jennifer put it out there from the beginning. Big red foreshadowing. Like,
oh, for sure.
This is foreshadowing. This is foreshadowing.
But like you never know
And
it until
you did not click until
the very last sentence of the book.
Very last sentence. Like, it still did not like, oh, he's the prince, he's the dark one. Okay, sure.
But see, I think he called her princess because he's the prince. You know, like,
Yeah.
not because he thought, like, they were going to be together.
Yeah.
But just as a sense of, like, endearment. In
Yeah.
a sense of, I'm a prince. You're going to be a princess. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, not like a, you're going to be my princess. Just princess, my princess. Kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
You're mine. Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, cool. He's a prince. Whatever. And then he's like, oh, because he had said already that they were going back to Atlantia.
My favorite part was that he looked at Poppy and he's just like, did you know that in order to get married, you both had to be on Atlantean soil?
Yes.
She's like, okay, why the fuck do I care? Like, in her
Exactly.
brain, she does not register.
When he said that, I was like, literally in my reaction, I'm like,
I texted her and I said, okay, as soon as they say something about dying with dignity, I need you to start recording yourself just so I can see your reaction.
yeah, and I'm like, hold up. And then I kept reading. And then he was like, we're going home. You're going to become my prince. Or whatever. We're going to get married.
Yeah.
Princess. Or something like that.
And it's very easy to find this one.
Yeah. You can read it word for word for us.
We go home to marry my princess. With it italicized. He said, my princess.
I literally wanted to yell and jump up and down. And I honestly thought he was going to take her home, like, to Atlantia, like, show the king, like, his dad, whatever, her, whatever. And I was like, oh, like, she has, like, our blood. Like, I thought it was that when he was talking about going back home and stuff like that. I did not expect that he's gonna marry her.
Yeah.
Or assuming that's what's gonna happen in the rest of the book. I don't know. Again, I have not read it. She has. I don't know how things in the book that she's read, but just the fact that he's even saying we're gonna get married, he's
not asking.
Yeah, he's telling.
He's not saying, hey, do you want to go get married? Or hey, let's. Nope, we're going to get married.
I kind of disagree with you a little bit in one of the points that you said that he's not, like, in love with her. I think he is.
I think now he is. Like, at this point, like, at the end of the story, I think he is. Like, I think he doesn't know that it's love, what he has for her. Because I think...
my thing is, I think he does.
You think he already, like, loves her?
Yeah.
Like, and he knows that he loves her?
I think
and
he's
not just, like, acting? Not acting, but, like, acting...
Because when the first time they're together... Bang, bang, bang.
Okay.
And, like, he's leaving and he said, remember this. This was real. Like, I feel like, yes, he loves her, but he loves his brother.
But I think he's not... I think you're right, he loves her, but I don't think he's ready to admit that he loves her.
No, I don't think he's gonna admit it.
I don't think his body...
I think he's admitted it to himself, but he's not admitting it to her yet.
I don't think he's admitted it to his brain yet. And, like, I feel like it's in his heart, it's in his body.
You did more, so maybe...
But I'm trying to think of, like, right here.
Yeah.
Like, as this... Like, where this book is at right now. Like, I still think he's very much thinking diplomatically. Or, like, by the plan.
And then in the cell, he's like, you're mine.
Well, yeah.
But I don't think it's a possessive kind of thing.
Oh, no, see, I think it is.
You think it's possessive?
I think it's possessive.
I don't think it's
for
possessive.
Sure.
I think it's, like, possessive as, like, I'm in love with you and no one's going to touch you kind of thing. Not like, you're my property.
Oh, no. Definitely the first one. Definitely the,
But, like, I meant, like, I know, but I'm talking about, like, I meant as in, like, he knows he's in love with her and he's like, he would do anything for her.
I feel like he feels, like, a sense of duty towards her as well. Because I'm not gonna lie, I know it was just like part of like the Ascended's ritual to like kneel before her and like say the vow and stuff, but like it's supposed to be like to the maiden, and he said it to Poppy.
Yeah.
I think like that was for real for him, like that you won't get hurt, and he continuously said you will never get hurt again. You like when she like goes to Ryland's funeral and stuff, and like he's like you were injured, and it's like that will never happen again. I think he like for real took that seriously, that like he was gonna protect her.
Well,
Like,
and
that was before he was like, you know, like more than just intrigued, you know, like.
But then also like his reaction, like his strong reaction to Duke Asshole hurting her in Lurid magazine.
Yeah.
Like,
but like I think that also could just be like
I don't think
he hates the Ascended, and they did something even worse
because he's
like,
been watching her.
I do think he loves her. Like by the end of the book, I think he loves her. I just don't think he like can comprehend like admitting it to himself, and that's why he's not like, you know, like, because I think he also understands that she can't love him right now. He understands that she hates him, what he's done, what he represents, the people who follow him, like literally killed like so many people important to him. Like I think he's protecting himself from acknowledging that he loves her because he knows that she won't love him back right now. Even though she loves him, and we know that she loves him because she literally says, I love him. Yeah. But like I think he knows that like she can't like be in love with him. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he just like doesn't want the like possible rejection, or like saying like, hey, like let's get married. Yeah. And her just being no like kind of thing. So I feel like he's like protecting himself, but also like I feel like he just hasn't completely registered it yet. You know?
Okay.
That's my
okay. And with that, I think we're done with book number 1.
So yeah, now we're gonna go throw ourselves into book number 2.
Yes, and we will have
a chapter by chapter analysis next week,
and more yapping.
All the yapping, the chaotic yapping, because that is what we do best.
Yes. So,
thanks for joining.
See you next time.
From Blood and Ash,
everyone.
STUVWXYNZ. Now we know our ABCs.
Next time, won't you sing with me?
Welcome to, fuck, what are we called?
We're gonna have to redo that.
Yeah, let's